we're speaking with Nick Bennett, who is the Director of Field, Community, and Partner Marketing at Alyce, an AI-powered B2B gifting platform. He's also an expert in personal brand building and host of 2 podcasts, Rep Your Brand Podcast and co-host of Real ABM. Nick, thanks for joining us.
So I've been in kind of the field marketing world for tech companies for the last about 9 years. Various stages, kind of like Series B to Series D has been my sweet spot. And I've gone through multiple acquisitions. But field marketing, community, and partner marketing is kind of really where I've kind of sharpened my skills and feel like I can make the biggest impact.
What is a recent innovative marketing campaign that you have conducted?
And something recently around LinkedIn conversational ads, actually. And so being in the MarTech world, selling to other marketers who I am the ICP, like field marketers, ABM marketers, demand gen marketers, like they are the people that buy a product like us. So I said, hey, we use 6 Sense from an intent perspective. And I said, why don't we really hone in on like our target list that we call it like a top 20. And so I created LinkedIn conversational ads coming from myself. It was pretty basic. It was like, hey, take a 30-minute meeting with me personally. I'll be your BDR and I'll give you a $100 gift in return. And in about 3.5 weeks, I drove 30 meetings from that. And we actually closed our first deal from it in the month of November. We have, I believe, another 8 or 9 that are still in the pipeline. Yeah, some of them weren't great opportunities. They just wanted the gift. There's always going to be those types. But I spent $5,000 all in on this entire campaign. And I've already like 10x that. So like, I'm not worried about the ROI on this. It was such a successful campaign with such a low lift that like, I don't know why I wouldn't try it again.
You think it was just something that stood out above the crowd? Or you think it's all the work that you put in on your personal branding that people recognized you?
I think it's definitely the work that I put in, because a lot of times you'll get these, sponsored emails or messages, and it's from a BDR or a sales rep. But when it's a marketer that they've probably seen my content, which goes into that whole like dark social that everyone's talking about now, it's a real thing. Like people message me all the time. They're like, hey, I'm checking out Alyce because I saw your content. And I'm not even trying to sell anything in what I post. I literally, like today, for example, I posted about what your paid social strategy should look like, or like, what does mine look like? And I just kind of laid it out there. But people find value in that. And then they connect the dots and put 2 and 2 together. And we actually, about 2 weeks ago, changed on our demo page, our, how did you hear about us? We got rid of the drop down and made it just a form field. And like, it's given so many crazy insights. And it's funny because 2 times people have put Nick Bennett LinkedIn is in like how they heard about us. And I was just like, I tell my CEO all the time, like a lot of what I do, you cannot directly measure, but I said, I 100% guarantee that it's driving meaningful results for the business. And now that we can kind of see some of this in like these inbounds that come in, it definitely goes to showcase it. But I mean, he was a huge believer in like what I did anyways. So it just kind of like was the cherry on top.
Mindset or strategy that you're getting really excited about going into 2022?
Piece that I'm really excited about is like just paid in general. So like recently, about maybe 2 months ago, I took over our paid and kind of like organic as well. Currently, it's going to change, in a couple of months, but like for right now, and like, it's really helped me like hone in on like the stuff that works, the stuff that doesn't work. What should my like CPM be? What should my CTR be? Like trying different messages and experimenting with different offers. And like, I've realized the amount using intent, we've seen such an increase in the amount of inbounds that have come. And it was just because I'm focusing on different messages and different offers. I'm not just saying, hey, go download another ebook or white paper. I'm focusing on case studies that came out. People love social proof. And so I think something that we're doubling down on in 2022 is really just like paid social in general, which goes into conjunction with like the whole dark social of like, how do you correctly attribute what employees are posting in conjunction with your organic and paid stuff that's running? Because it all plays together and it's a bigger impact than a lot of people think. So I'm trying to like uncover that piece and really like pour gasoline on it.
What is one marketing mindset or strategy that you're ready to see end this year?
I don't want to say it's going to end, but I think the whole like event piece of it and like the virtual event piece of it. I think COVID's changed it where there's always going to be some piece of virtual events that will be important. But I think what you are going to see is a decrease in the amount of virtual events that are being done because people are shifting back to in-person. People are shifting back to other resources. People are pulling budget. For example, we're pulling budget from events and putting it towards paid, social, and search. And so realizing that like, if this is the channel that you've kind of doubled down on for so long, like, it's time to kind of branch out a little bit. And so that's really what we're focusing on. And I think that's what you're going to see from a lot of people. There's going to be hybrid events. Like I said, there's always going to be events. There's so many virtual event platforms that are out there. But I think there's just going to be less of them in 2022.
Did you do anything or have you attended anything that has been really high quality?
Something that I've been attending recently is like more like roundtable type things where it's an intimate kind of get together. There's, 10, 15 of us on a call, but it's more just not one person talking to you, death by PowerPoint. It's everyone engaging in a conversation around a specific topic, whether it's paid social, whether it's ABM, field marketing, whatever, like just really digging deeper. And it's not a vendor trying to sell you anything. Yeah, you're going to get contacted by them at the end of the event. It's part of it. It's fine. But you're connecting with your peers, which another thing of COVID is like the whole community aspect has kind of accelerated way faster than people thought. But like those have been my favorite types of events where like I can really kind of just like connect with others, bounce ideas off of people, and kind of have it like that. The other thing recently that I went to was Metadata's event, Demand. That was actually a really, really well done event. So many incredible speakers on there. And I'm going to the 6 Sense Breakthrough Conference in person, actually first in-person conference since February of 2020. So I'm really excited to kind of like learn again from a bunch of marketers how to kind of, leverage intent better and make myself a better marketer.
What are some current top tools in your marketing tech stack that you're just obsessed with right now?
I use Vidyard, which I personally love video. I use video in a lot of the outreach that I do just because it's a lot easier than just typing another text post. Something that I've used video in personally recently that's really been cool is whenever someone interviews for a role, actually sending them like a video, like, hey, like not just like another, like, thank you so much for interviewing, but just like giving them a recap of like how they specifically did, or like what could, what I thought of the conversation. If you can do that in video, it just makes it so much more personal because it's most times people are just basically writing something small, if anything at all. And I've had a lot of like interviewees use video actually in like their thank you note, which was actually pretty surprising. It's a great way to stand out.
Example of a great campaign using Alyce or gift giving that you did.
So something that I did that was more of just like, I literally didn't want anything out of it was, it was a couple months ago, but remember when Texas was going through like those, like that snowstorm? It was like, everyone was like, just like, they'd never really experienced anything like that before. So what I did was I sent all of our prospects in the Texas area, as well as our customers, a Red Cross donation in like a gift of a blanket to basically stay warm. Just like, it was like, hey, we're thinking of you, and just something to like stay top of mind so that like they could donate money to Red Cross in Texas, but then they could also get something that they could use for themselves to stay warm during like such a cold time when none of them really probably have heat. And so that was really impactful. I love doing things where we're donating to different types of charities and we match, dollar for dollar from a charity perspective. So it's just part of our platform. When I say you a gift, you have the option to accept the gift. You can swap it out with another item on our marketplace, or you can donate the amount to a charity of your choice. And you'd be surprised at how many people actually pick that. And they find like they love that way more than getting a gift for themselves.